and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, in the
Welcome everyone to MaxSpeedTV on this Sunday evening. We're once again live here at Phoenix or ISM Speedway to view the Loose Lug Nuts Cup Series Top Shelf Auto Detailing sponsoring. Welcome everyone. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome to the replay if you're viewing late. Thanks for tuning in. I am Jeff Wood, your host, and my co-host tonight, Mr. Bad Bob Wells, and on keyboards, Mr. Michael D'Amico. Say hi, Bob.
Hey, good evening, race fans. Welcome to Phoenix, ISM Speedway. Should be a good race, Jeff. 155 laps, 155 miles. Vehicles are on track right now, trying to put down a good qualifying effort and get some good track position to start off with.
Yep, that is the goal. We got a little bit of a short field here tonight, but that should help out guys missing some points battles here, and we'll get right into that, those coveted points, as this is the first race of the second round in the chase. We'll go ahead and look at those points. Mitch Reeves not logging into the sim here tonight, missing tonight, but he's leading points by 10 over Wes Holland in second. Ronald Klein a further 10 behind Wes. That's 20 behind our leader. He's in third. Jeff Gilmore, he's in the fourth position, which is the next cutoff at about 23 points behind the leader. Kevin Winter tied with David Johnson for 5th, and Dustin Lee 7th, and that's about where the points battle will end, except I think John Pansula in 8th, and maybe Mark Jackson with a little bit of magic from last night carrying over could have a chance.
Absolutely, and with Mitch missing tonight's race, he'll most certainly drop to 2nd, but I guess the good news, Jeff, with looks like a 19-car field, his worst-case scenario is what I'm projecting is 2nd spot, so not a huge hit in missing tonight's race.
Now, Mitch choosing to go out early. He's started 14 races, finished in the top 10 14 times. I imagine he'll keep up those numbers when he shows up yet again, as he's from a Bama area, and it's Talladega week, so who knows what's going on down there in Bama.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure if you watched that Dega race today, Jeff, but all the hype didn't really seem to live up. It seemed like just same old Talladega restrictor plate racing to me, but Chase Elliott got the win. Good for him. Just a few minutes left here in qualifying. Dustin Lee, James Lehman, currently the top 2 fastest guys on the board.
Yep, good to see Dustin Lee back out on track. I know he's a regular on Sunday. He, like I said, is in 7th in points, looking to improve his odds this evening with a good qualifying time. Dustin Lee's actually got 2 poles already this season, looking for a 3rd. We'll see if he can do it again, as James Lehman is the monkey wrench in the situation beyond Wes Holland, and Jeff Gilmore up to 4th in the qualifying order.
Yeah, pretty solid run there for Happy Gilmore. And we talked about points, Jeff. Next week we head off into Darlington, and that's the next cutoff before they head off to the season finale at Homestead. So should be an interesting week coming up here.
Oh, most definitely. If we don't remember the last week, what a show last week, Bob. That number 10 finishing out that race. He's currently qualified in 6th. Jason Covington looking to make it back-to-back weeks on Sundays.
Yeah, and he should be a pretty good racer and definitely in the running. Currently showing 6th place on the grid. Wow, Panic Manus pops up on the 5th there. He's doing pretty well as well.
Yep, more time, Panic Mattis there. Robert Mattis, the 14 machine gets the better his results seem to be. He's got a lot of seat time now this season, not in any points situation, but running for pride. At 14, he's got a good run to start out this evening. We got the gridding coming up in about another minute. Some guys not qualifying time. Not a lot of cars on the track, about 19 in total.
Yeah, smaller field that could equate to a lot greater opportunity for long green runs. I didn't actually catch a fuel window, Jeff, so I'm not sure where that lies. The Xfinity cars, last night it was around 40 that they were getting on the tank. I don't think it'll be too far off of that.
Yep, 155 laps. Drastically different temperatures on the track here this evening than what we saw last night. Bob, 67 track temperature. That has to free up the track and the car.
Absolutely. Should be a lot of grip in that surface. I tried taking a few laps. Not very good with the Cup car, especially after an afternoon of enjoying beverages watching Talladega. Jeff, I didn't do very well out there, but definitely had plenty of turn in it for sure.
Yep, preferable track temperatures. No fast repairs here this evening. All damage counted is going to have to be dealt with on pit road. Pace speed will be 55, pit speed 45. One of the slower pit here, and we mentioned even last night we had that arc there inside the top 12 cars on pit road. We'll go to the grid here in just a second, but cover that, Bob, about the qualifying order of being in the top 12 pit boxes.
Yeah, pit boxes like 1 through 12 or so. They're right in that corner of turn 1. It makes it a little tougher to get into your box and see your box when you're coming down pit road, so you got to be careful with that. Dustin Lee does capture the pole in that 2 machine. He'll be our pole setter. Bullet James Lehman will roll off second. Reckham Wes Holland out of Colorado Springs, Colorado rolls off third. Jeff Happy Gilmore will start fourth. Panic Robert Manis is your 5th place starter. Jason Covington from Covington Motorsports rolls off 6th. Kevin Winter is in 7th. Ronnie Klein rolls off 8th. Crazy Mike John Panzula is your 9th place starter. Kyle Chadwick rolling off 10th. Judd Danielson rolls off 11th here tonight. Rocket Man Randy Roberts back for another fun evening in 12th. Magic Shoes Mark Jackson, and that's a great looking car. We have to get a close up of that, but that 3 machine rolls off 13th. Josh, not Michael Scott, in 14th. Stoker David Johnson rolls off 15th. Jason Hughes rolls off 16th. Ray Richard rolls off 17th. Brandon Thornhill 18th. And shotgun on the field, Jay Queen.
Yep, 19 cars taking the field here, 17 of them taking a lap. A lot of points involved. We're going to see some action here tonight. Even with the short field last night, Bob, we had a great show, especially that ending and guys getting at it, touching maybe. Who knows? We call it from the first view that we get, and a lot of times we don't get nothing but a quick replay until we have to move on.
Absolutely, and closer replay, actually, of that incident with James Lehman and Jeffrey Merck. It didn't actually look like it was a solid hit. It looked like it may have been a net code situation. And one last correction on our starting grid. Brandon Thornhill is our tower admin tonight. He will not be gridding up and competing.
All right, putting the field down one more car, Brandon Thornhill, but he'll have eagle eye view, be able to issue race in-car penalties. That 3 machine does look nice, Bob. We're going to be going to a quick green, no pace lap here. The caution is not going to show right here. No pace car lights. Green flag getting ready to wave in the air. Dustin Lee, James Lehman going to fire it off here this evening. Here we go. Let's see what happens. They wait for the green flag. Green flag is out. Here we go. ISM Phoenix Cup car.
Yeah, side by side, they head off into turn 1. Dustin Lee down on the bottom. We have a car flashing there in the middle of the pack. Oh, he's back now. Should be no problem. Side by side, no, that battle continues down into turn 3. Dustin Lee with the third line on the inside. Let's see how that works out.
Yep, third line on the inside. Maybe James Lehman rocketing through on the outside. Dustin Lee's got to watch the bumper tag off the corner. They all get through safe from what it looks like. Now under fire is Jeff Gilmore for 4th.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore under fire from that 10 machine to Jason Covington as they head through the dog leg. Folks might see those cones in the dog leg. Drivers cannot compete below those cones. If they do so, they do get a timed penalty if you only have to basically check up and give that time they gain back. Gilmore, Covington still side by side. It almost looks like that high line out of 4 is actually working rather well here in the early stages, Jeff.
Yep. Nice and easy through 1 and 2, middle to low possibly, but that high line, if you're a groove or 2 up through 3 and 4, depending on your entrance, it looks really well. But James Lehman really putting the distance out on the field early.
And 3 wide. Look at Kevin Winter trying to split the middle out of turns 3 and 4. Doesn't pan out for him, but that was an exciting moment as he works his way on the high side of that 57 machine of Jeff Gilmore. Makes contact, gets down on the right front of that. Gilmore car, we have other cars and a chain reaction event going around, and caution does fly.
Yeah, that started with the 90 machine and 76 as they approached the already slowed up 78 machine. You know, incidental contact with the 90, but replay coming up.
And that was just guys basically reacting to that situation that had occurred in front of them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, again, Ronald Klein and the mix of it and the mess of it, they really, it wasn't even the 90 machine or the 76 that were involved. That really started with Gilmore and Kevin Winter making contact at the beginning of turn 1.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. Didn't look like anybody had a lot of damage from that. We'll take a close look at that 76 machine with the Oculus Rift setup cam here.
Everyone heading down pit road except Gilmore. Dustin Lee stays out. Maneuvers on the track. We'll keep with pit road.
And just slight damage on that 76 machine on the left rear. Looking at the car behind him on pit road. like Judd Danielson had a little nose damage, but nothing race ending at this point.
All right. 8 machine, 4 machine down. That is Lehman, Holland, both Bad Apple racers. Dustin Lee Gilmore decided to stay out west with a quick stop. He wants 2 tires. He's gone. 8 of Lehman takes 4 in gas, and he's gone.
Yeah, kind of early actually, I think, for 4 tires, but that's the call he made. We did have, as you said, 4 cars in all staying out. And just as I say that, 2 of them are going to pull off and head down the pit road.
I think they were all trying to fake out one another. Gilmore not wanting to give up too much on the leaders. He needs to stay in the points, as does Kevin Winter. He's really fighting from the back. He had a subpar Kansas showing out early in that race. So he's trying to make up some ground here this evening on a short field. Dustin Lee, though, and Kyle Chadwick both say, no, we're sticking with our call.
Yeah, probably a good call. Only really 4.5 green laps on that. And Randy Roberts was actually issued a EOL penalty as a result of the contact that he made in that previous incident.
Yep. We saw it happen well before that, but yeah, if someone did make contact, I guess the 90 did not see it coming, so to say, and did not slow up the most.
Yeah, he definitely didn't slow up the most, and that's probably what he's getting that little slap on the wrist, if you will, over.
Yep, and I quite agree. EOL is about the furthest you can go. We got the 3 machine back down pit road.
Yeah, watching Mark Jackson, and I'm not sure if this is a fuel strategy thing or what's going on there.
I can't really tell if his hood is bent. There's a lot of graphical detail on that wonderful looking hood from Over the Top Paints and Design. Check them out on Facebook. No, just gas and go. You're right, Bob.
Yeah, apparently that fuel window might be a little bit longer than we thought, Jeff, and maybe he believes that could be the difference over the long haul. In this event, Dustin Lee, Kyle Chadwick will be the front row. Lights are extinguished on the iRacing Mustang as we get ready to get back after it. Field will begin in lap number 9.
Yep, now it is time for the leader to take charge after seeing the first caution flag here this evening. Dustin Lee, Chadwick, 161. 2 has the position of fire. We saw what an advantage it was last night. Dustin Lee not making that advantage right now. Wait until the green flag. Green flag is in the air. Dustin Lee still got a good jump.
He got a terrific jump, but last night it looked like the bottom line was the place to really get a nice launch, which he did. So pulls it out to about 4 car lengths over Kyle Chadwick. Breckham West Hall and James Lehman, tight battle here for that 3rd position as they rocket off into turn 3.
Yep, Jason Covington getting under the 14 of Robert Mattis. Still looking out front here. Single file, we got a little bit of double action. We'll go to the back here and see if we can't pick it up with Ray Richer. Nope, even further back, they're single filed out again. I missed it.
Yeah, I'm watching Kevin Winter in the 78 machine. He must have had a pit road penalty. He was actually shotgun in the field, but already making his way up through the field. Last time through 3 and 4, he had the lefts down below that yellow. He was getting after it. Makes his way around Happy Gilmore on the turn 4.
Yep, there go those guys. More battles happening out through the field. Look at that 58 machine. Jay Smoke, Jason Hughes, pass up Jay Queen. Jay Queen giving ground there. 85 Judd Danielson now coming under fire under the 008. Almost 3 wide situation there. Roberts out to the outside. Jay Smoke through that pack of cars.
I'll tell you, Winter is coming. Definitely making up spots each and every single lap in the back of the pack. Now working his way to the inside of the 2. Nothing there yet.
Yep, Kevin Winter has to take the advice given to another driver. It's a long race. Don't want to poke the nose too quick down on the inside. You want to make the long move for drivers that are trying to battle for position early on. But let's jump back out front. Dustin Lee is well far in front of this field.
Yeah, I had about a second lead. There's a battle for that second spot. James Lehman now to the inside of Rocco West Holland in the turn 3.
James had a solid car on the short to mid run last night. Let's see if he can't improve the long run aspect of his tires as he passes the 4, trying to catch up to Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee put another 4/10 down while those two were battling it out.
Yeah, it's still early in these stages. But wow, what a lead he has at this point. And kind of still keeping an eye on Winter back here. It's kind of entertaining. He still has got his way around Rocket Man, but he's up on the wheel.
Yep, Dustin Lee, Lehman, Holland, Covington, and Chadwick are top 5. That's a bunch of bad apple racers out there with a mix of Donald Klein Motorsports mixed in, or Team Exile, whichever one you want to call them. Right now, the coveted position being first to Team Exile.
Yes, it sure is. And watching that battle as they headed off to the dog leg, Robert Mattis actually made his way around teammate Kyle Chadwick. Now Chadwick under fire from, looks like crazy Mike John Panzula as they head off on the turn 3.
Yep, the 01 machine still battling it out. He's points racing here this evening, as is a lot of these guys. 01 looking to get another spot. Chadwick with no tires during that last stop, stayed out with Dustin Lee in full. Seems to be that he didn't get the clean air, and now he's just falling back.
He sure is. Dustin Lee, wow, he's still hammering, maintaining a 1.2 second lead up front. Doing a great job.
Yep, not a lot of cars battling throughout the field. Look at that 90 machine.
Yeah, I was just looking back at Rocket Man and Kevin Winter, and these guys have, it's going to be like hockey players. The gloves might fall down on the ends here, the way they've been getting after in the back of the pack, Jeff.
Yeah, they have. Good racing, that's what we like to see. Contact is bound to happen sometimes, as we saw it during that first caution. Jay Smoke under the 90-90, not giving the rise to 58. 90 going to shoot up in front. Smoke barely closes the door. I didn't catch the number he shut down.
Yeah, Smoke now side by side. Looks like Jay Queen actually working his way back around him. Back here with Happy Gilmore and Mark Jackson in his mirror. And looking just ahead of him, Kevin Winter now trying to get another spot here as he works his way back up through the pack. Working on Toker, David Johnson, and clears him out of turn 4. From last to 10th so far in this run.
Yep, 90 machine trying to keep pace. He's up next for Toker. Toker will have to give it up maybe in turn 4, it looks like. Yes, he does. Toker just taking the long end of the run, saying, I want to finish this race this week.
Exactly. Definitely not wanting to get in Rocket Man's way. Is able to stay ahead of him for right now. Rocket Man trying to take a peek down to the inside. Jeff Gilmore looks like he worked up another spot here in the mirror of these guys. That's a 57 machine.
Yep, cones flying all over the place. Has to be distracting in the virtual world. I'm sure we're seeing it on the screen too. It's not pretty sometimes when you see just some cone fly across the window, but the racers are using as much track as possible without getting that time penalty. Almost 3 wide. Gilmore tucks up. He's right behind Jay Queen. Rocket Man out in front, though.
Yeah, this little gaggle of cars right back here is definitely they're having a lot of fun for sure with Jeff Gilmore and David Johnson, Magic Shoes Mark Jackson, all kind of battling it out here in the back of the pack. But back up front, Jeff, that lead has shrunk. Down to 0.8 of a second, about near and a half a second that has been cut off of Dustin Lee's lead in that 2 machine.
Yeah, he's losing ground. Looks like the 4 machine now back out in front of the 8 on that lap. Missed that pass, but teammates giving it up quick.
Yeah,
Lehman
Wes Holland
falling back
to second. Yeah, wonder what happened with their battle.
Well, we saw last night, and I mentioned it a few laps ago, the 8 machine really struggled on his long runs of using down his tires, but preferable track conditions compared to last night, and maybe a little bit different car and package.
And in winding that pass for that second spot back on my screen, Jeff, looks like they just raced his good teammates. James Lehman just kind of checked up, gave him a bottom down through one. Kind of probably felt like Wes might have been faster at that juncture, or maybe just giving him the spot because he's in it for the championship. I'm not sure the exact story, but regardless, it wasn't really a battle. It was just kind of a gentleman's pass, if you will.
Yep, that 4 is really tracking down the 2 machine. If I've learned anything in my years of racing here at Loose Lug Nuts, if Wes Holland is faster, sometimes it's better to let him go and figure out that line. But you have to figure it out quick because then he'll escape.
Yeah, pretty talented sim racer, Jeff. I can finish second, but if I'm ahead of him, I feel like I won. And James Lehman looks like he got the wall out of turn 4 there just a little bit. And then for good measure, goes ahead and gives it a rub on the way down into turn number 1. Getting a little patina on the right side of that 8 machine here as field works, lap 27.
Yeah, James Lehman dating turn 4 that time and the front stretch all at once. Got a double date there for Wes Holland, staying clear of that turn 4 exit and keeping the car clean. That's going to slow down the 8. We're going to see a pass here eventually with the 10, but the 10 has some ground to make up, and we are on a pretty good green flag run.
Yeah, just kind of a little inside joke there. We're kind of razzing Wes about getting the wall quite a bit. And as he works down to the inside of Dustin Lee, easily dust off Dustin Lee there for the lead. Pretty nice fast pass for Wes, not giving up a whole lot of track time in the process. New leader at lap 29, Reckham Wes Holland. But the inside joke I was going to allude to, we kind of razzed him because he got the wall quite a bit out of 2 and 4 last night. And we're kind of asking him if he was dating the wall there, and it was kind of an inside joke in the background.
Yeah, starting 3rd was Wes here tonight. Not slow by any means, but definitely driver you want to keep in your rear view mirror as much as possible. Maybe Dustin Lee didn't want to battle and see too much bumper from Wes, as Wes is really looking like he's on a mission.
He sure is. Wes quickly stretches it out to almost a 4/10 of a second lead. Doing a fine job with that number 4 machine.
Trying to look through the pack for a battle. These guys are really stretching it out. We'll have to go all the way back to around 15th spot. Ray Richard now getting some ground under what is David Johnson, I think.
Yeah, Ray Richard, David Johnson, it looks like Josh Scott. This is the actual pack of the field, but still racing back here. And I was actually just looking at Kevin Winter, who graded last. He's up to 8th now. He's gained 2 positions since we last updated you on his progress through the field.
Yep, Josh Scott and Ray Richard going at it door to door. You know what? It's a racetrack, and they're racing back here, even if it is for the final spot on the lead lap. We're approaching lap 32 to 33 here. Wes Holland's got to be thinking about the long-term pit strategy. We did see him pit. The only 2 guys that didn't are Dustin Lee, and I think that's the equation of the tires right now, too.
Could be. It's not a whole lot of laps, but it is laps a little bit less on his tires. Looking a little further back, Robert Mattis looks like he just lost the spot to Crazy Mike out of turn 2. Move Crazy Mike up to 5th.
Yeah,
John
that is
Panzula,
one more. Yeah, John Panzula gaining 1 spot. John Panzula 8th in points. He's going to have to finish ahead of at least Gilmore to give himself, and by finish ahead, I mean by a few positions over Gilmore. Going to be a tight points battle, but we'll keep you updated the best we can. And if they're updated before we go off air, we'll try to get those out too.
Absolutely. And field is working lap 35, Jeff. In order to do this in just 2 stops, they're going to have to make it to roughly 52 or 53. We did see that 3 machine come back in and top off on the last caution. Wonder if that was a strategy or how this is going to play out. I can't imagine they're going to get that many more laps than the Xfinity Series cars, though.
Yep, 3 machine last of fuel, maybe just looking to gain some points. We see as a lot of the times as we go into pit that there is that incidental caution that comes out and screws over a couple people. But again, hi out there on YouTube, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to MaxSpeedTV. here at Loose Lug Nuts Racing Top Shelf Auto and Detailing Cup Series. We're in the throes of this race. Shortened field here this evening. We're watching some drivers run around the track. Wes Holland currently our leader.
Wes Holland, and we'll start field rundown. Second spot right now is Dustin Lee, that 2 machine. Third spot, we have Bullet James Lehman driving that 8 car. In fourth, driving that 10 machine out of Covington Motorsports, Jason Covington. Fifth place, Crazy Mike John Panzula, driving that number 01 Army car. Good looking machine he's got there. Panic Robert Mattis is our... Whoa, what happened to Dustin Lee? I just saw him drop through my running.
Yeah, I did too. He is on pit road. Remember, he did not pit during that last caution, so he's 38 laps with the caution in there. So that's a low fuel range. I don't know what he's really doing.
Yeah, we have a few other visitors down there on pit road, Jeff. Trying to get car numbers on them, but we have 3 cars down on the pit road right now. And Jason Hughes, just a quick update, I'm showing him 2 laps down. I'm not sure if he had some kind of connection issue or what's going on there.
Not seeing it. He may have smacked the right side of the wall, or his kids may be back on the internet. We don't really know.
Yes, and down here with the Oculus Rift close-up cam, and there is some damage down on the right side of that machine and up on the front bumper. So probably working on fixing that up. He does go down to 3 laps now. Dustin Lee, Kyle Tadwick, Jake Queen were the other cars that we saw down on pit road. Field is, I believe they're on about lap 40. I'm not updated here on the right screen.
Yep, lap 40 into lap 41. Wes Holland,
Wes
he's
Holland
down
on
pit
road.
So that's not a huge gap from where Dustin Lee led off to where Wes Holland did. Wes Holland took 2 tires and some fuel on that last pit stop in caution. I think we're going to see the 3 machine really chug out to the front here.
Yeah, he should get a few laps out of it. And, I was still on the right front setup cam. I just went to James Lehman's car, and he really has put a hurting on that right front fender.
Yep, 3 machine Mark Jackson down on pit road right behind the 90. Toker sliding into his pit box. A lot of guys doing stuff different. Jason Covington out to the lead.
Yeah, still hanging on with that spot. One of the only cars that hasn't pitted, it looks like, as he comes down the pit road.
Yeah, once the leader does, it tells you on iRacing, at least if you have that thing signaled to hook up, it says the leader is pitting, and a lot of the times that goes to the other drivers as, gosh, I need to pit. He's leading. I need to do what the leader does.
Absolutely, and we'll have to get the Jeff Common Core Signature Series calculator out here, Jeff. We're roughly in that 40 range. That means they should get, gosh, I'm not even sure. I don't even think they can get to lap 80 because we did have that early caution. This is actually looking like more pit stops than I had banked on.
Yep. Jay Smoke still on pit road from before. Most of the cars going just a lap down from when they pitted. We'll have the cycle through here in just a moment.
Yeah, it looks like just about the whole field has cycled through on the pit stops, and another lap. My screen will be up to date. Looks like Wes Holland, Dustin Lee rather, will be our leader after this pit stop cycle.
Yeah, I think there was a 2 to 3 lap difference from Dustin Lee to Wes, maybe even not that much, but the 4 machine really closing that gap fast at the moment. He'll have Dustin Lee settled down as Dustin Lee has to work through lap traffic, which is Jake Queen.
Yeah, Jake Queen definitely lost a lot of track position. Not sure, he just had a really bad pit stop. He was about 10 seconds ahead of the leaders when the pit stop cycle started, though.
Yeah, newer guy to Loose Lug Nuts Racing. Again, thank you to all that have come out this season. I mentioned it last night, and we've had close to 100 drivers at least log in and try their attempt at Loose Lug Nuts Racing this year. Almost 100 drivers. That's from Daytona till now. That's a huge amount of drivers, and a huge thank you from the league and us up here in the announcer's booth with MaxSpeedTV, getting to talk about all these different guys and their racing styles.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good stuff. And appreciate the invite, having me join you guys on these Sunday nights. It's been a lot of fun.
Potential battle brewing up here as Dustin Lee had to work around Jay Queen. It's Jay Queen's prerogative to stay on the lead lap, and he tried as much as he could, but that really helped Wes Holland in the Ford to close the gap between the two. It was going to be inevitable eventually, but like I said previously, you want to keep the Ford in your rearview mirror as long as you can.
And looking back at the 161, Kyle Chadwick and the 01, they've had a good side-by-side battle for about the last lap that I've been watching, Jeff. That battle heads off in turn one. Crazy Mike has had what is traditionally the preferred line being down on the inside, but this will be the, beginning the second lap of side-by-side competition between these two drivers as they head off through turn three. Crazy Mike down on the bottom. Let's see how Chadwick can get that nice roll that we've seen on the high side. And they're still side-by-side for almost another third lap. Great battle between these guys.
Yep, 01 getting the advantage off of turn one into the dog leg. He doesn't jump down like Chadwick does. Ronald Klein really closed the gap between 161 and himself in that 76 machine, and Robert Mattis in the 14 trying to regain a top five potential spot where he ran most of that first run.
Well, Klein really getting up there, not giving that Chadwick machine a whole lot of room between himself and the wall. Tight battle as they head off. A really good show here in the back of the pack. Like I said, it was 2.5 laps that the 01 and the 161 ran side by side. That was a good show. Klein now does work his way around Chadwick, and he comes under fire from one of his teammates there, Panic Menace.
Yep, Chadwick stayed out during that first caution. It's really put a damper into his racecraft, I think, early on, having to choose between track position and tires as he fell back. If there's one man that maybe wants a caution on the lead lap at the moment, it's the 161, so he can do something different, maybe take two tires.
Absolutely. I would venture almost gets the wall there at a turn 4. It looks like the front end didn't hook up the way he needed it to. Panic now works his way around Kyle Chadwick. But yeah, I think there's quite a few guys actually. Like I said, the 8 machine had a little bit of damage. There's a few guys that have had a minor bumps and rubs with the wall. Probably like a caution flag period to actually work on those cars some.
Yeah, speaking of that 8 machine of James Lehman, let's go take a look at that because he's about to catch the 2 of Dustin Lee. Looks like he got a good little pop-out dent damage done during the green flag pit stop. Lap 54 upcoming here, but viewing the 8, he's catching the 2 like I said, and it doesn't look too significant on that right side, Bob, unless you can get us a closer look.
Yeah, we'll take a close peek up. Maybe he did see the dent wizard while he was down there on pit road, and I'll tell you, a lot of nights, it's still pretty mangled, Jeff. Actually, it looks about the same. I don't think he spent much time on pit road and the green. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we don't simulate the tire rubbing on the fender and blowing the tire out, because that right front would be killed. That top of that fender is actually smushed right down on the tire, and he's lucky that the damage model hasn't been updated for that aspect yet. But really, despite the damage, Jeff, he is pulling up on that 2 machine of Dustin Lee. He is right there and ready to challenge for that second spot.
Yeah, and without the Oculus, Mr. D'Amico gets down right on that right front and gives us the best look possible. It's better than my look for sure. He's really driving hard, but what it does simulate is the ability to turn the car into the corners and out of the corners. The 8 machine has to be running down his tires more.
Yeah, I would think so, that it would affect basically the downforce of the front of that machine. Again, this is not a very aero-dependent track, but downforce is downforce, and this is a fast 1-mile track. These guys running in the mid-160s before they get down to the binders going into turn 1, for instance. They're definitely hauling the mail down these straightaways here.
Yep. Back up front, though, 4 machine just passing, I believe, is David Toker Johnson, a teammate. Easy pass there. Wes put the car a lap down. Dustin Lee and James Lehman in the throes of a battle. Got a lap car coming up, going to add a little bit of spice to that battle.
It sure will. And with that car going a lap down, that leaves us with 13 machines on the lead lap here on lap 58.
Yep, and this could be a lot of cars, 1 lap down, 2 laps down by the end of the evening if we stay green. Easy enough to stay green with the limited amount of cars here this evening. Wes really putting the long run together. Out front he is over a second and a half.
Yeah, Wes definitely in control of this race. Now James Lehman takes a peek to the outside of Dustin Lee, but they still have to face the challenge of David Johnson, that lap down machine. And wow, Dustin Lee slides up in front of James Lehman in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and starting to get a little racy here for that second spot. Dustin Lee now makes his way past the lap guard. David Johnson, great sportsmanship, gives these guys all kinds of room. In fact, goes up there and puts it right up against the wall to make sure they have all the room they need to work with, and he carries on about his business. Now Justin Lee will have to square off with James Lehman.
Yep, here we go out of turn 4. One staying clear of that wall. James Lehman using most of the track. He's got to watch the entry to turn 1 and 2 here, not to tag the bumper. We saw him getting a little bit of trouble with that last night, getting a little bit close, not judging the car in front of him. He does better there. The battle continues, though, for another lap.
Yeah, it almost looked like he just gave a little kiss to that two machines rear bumper. He was a little free out of turn 2. It was a pretty good battle, though, between Dustin Lee and James Lehman, now working lap 62, nearing that halfway spot in the race as well.
Yeah, we'll get back to our leader eventually as this battle still tries to go throughout. This is how you want to burn the 8 cars' tires down, make them try to pass you in an uncomfortable position. The 2 still riding about a groove higher and coming out a little bit differently through turn 4.
Yeah, both machines taking distinctly different lines that time through 3 and 4. And Wes is going to be looking at his relative screen and watching this interval grow with a smile on his face. 2.5 second lead right now. That's going to make Reckham rather happy. Now James Lehman takes a high entrance, diamonds the quarter off, tries to get a peek down low on that 2 machine. They're still getting after James Lehman now with another rub on the wall out of turn 4.
Yeah, not so significant of a rub, but rub nonetheless. He used more track than was given. He's going to lose a little bit of about a half a car length to what he had. He'll make it up in 3 and 4. This battle is going to take a while. I think that the 2 and the 8 about even par to one another.
Yeah, these guys putting on a good show. James Lehman's still there, though, and it is a good dogfight. Gets down on that 2 machines rear bumper and almost gives him a shot there, Jeff. It was pretty close. Not sure if he did make contact, but definitely some very tight racing. Good respectful racing, because he could have easily have dumped the 2 out of turn 2 there with that run he had on him. Now takes a peek down to the inside out of turn 4. These guys are battling.
Yep. Battle goes on. I looked real quick while you're talking, Bob, to see if there's anything out through the field. They're pretty spread out, so we'll continue to watch this battle play out and give it a good showing here as the drivers continue to have a good race. The 8, really on the bumper there. He almost tagged the 2, maybe gives him a shot through the center of the corner. Dustin Lee hangs on through the front stretch.
Yeah, if he is touching him, he's just giving him those light little kisses just to let him know he's there. Just looking down on pit road, I had Ray Richard down on pit road last time by. He has actually packed it up, headed home to New York. Tough break for that New York driver, calling it an early night. Down into turns 3 and 4. James Lehman takes another peek down to the inside. Dustin Lee rolling that high side. We've seen that high side work very well tonight, Jeff, out of turn 4.
Yep, the high side out of 4, if you roll the corner correctly, gives you great momentum off, as does turn 2 from time to time and how you get into the dogleg. But Dustin Lee really holding off James Lehman, who might be just a tinch faster, but unable to make the passes. They're almost in equal lines.
Absolutely. These guys have definitely put on a show, though. This is fun to watch. Hats off to these guys. And looking at the interval, Jeff, just about another second has been put on these guys by Wes Holland as this battle has gone on. I would say that the 2 is probably holding 8 up, because we've seen Bullet, James Lehman, actually hold pace with Wes. So I'm thinking that the 2 might be just holding him up a little bit. And hopefully the patience doesn't wear out here, and things get a little physical, if you know what I mean.
Yep, I mean, it's the 2's position to lose. He's arguably got a battle for the spot, and James Lehman has to figure out to get around him safely without fully turning the 2. Now, it is still a short track, and you can do a short track bump, but a lot of the times there's a wrong place to do it, too, and going into the corner, maybe one of those, you got to do it on the middle of the corner, have a successful bump to the high side.
Yeah, we might actually see the old Ted Christopher 3-bump rule in play here. I think for sure that James Lehman is probably faster. We've seen him all over him last time through 3 and 4. He worked that high side, tried to put a crossover on him and get by, but nothing there. Dustin Lee doing a good job, though. Watch James Lehman really roll right up on him through the center of turns 1. Gets a great drive off the corner.
All right, we'll let this continue to play out. Maybe if we don't watch it, something will happen, and we can come back to it. But just behind
the field rundown or something will happen. That's oh my God, there it is. The 2 car exits the speedway and heads down to pit road. I believe this is a scheduled stop as we near head halfway. 2 machine down on pit road, lap 73.
Every time we get that field rundown going, up come the pit stops. Jason Covington up to 3rd. Dustin Lee. Obviously, one of the first guys to pit, as he did not pit during the first caution. Judd Danielson on pit road already from the
Kevin
previous
Winter
lap.
Over 3 and 4, really slow. I'm not sure if he just had a problem. We'll have to take a look on that 78 machine. I'm going to wind it back on my screen, but he was going much slower than scheduled stop type of thing. I'm not sure what happened, if he was out of fuel.
He may have been on pit road already.
Rolling. No, he was just barely rolling down the back straightaway. Yeah, he was out of fuel.
Oh, wow.
He had to roll that car. It looked like all the way had a turn 2, just basically coasting it. Huge loss of track position for Kevin Winter.
Yeah, he's going to have to tow it. I don't think he got to the box. Wes Holland, the leader, down pit road, lap 75. Now going into lap 76. Cars still continue to roll around him. Dustin Lee already onto the track. If Dustin Lee got a good pit stop, we'll see what the 4 can do.
And yeah, absolutely. And we might actually have a fuel mileage situation working out for this race here, Jeff. Oh, we have a car around. Jason Covington loses control of that machine. Gets the inside wall, still green. We'll have to take a look at what just happened on that 10 machine on the front straightaway.
Well, I think Wes just had a heart attack, personally. Jason Covington has to pull that thing down pit road. If he stops below the yellow line, the caution may fly. Replay up.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It's almost like perhaps his steering wheel and pedals failed or something. He just had a slight rub on the outside wall and lost the back of the car heading down in the turn number 1. It was a weird-looking occurrence. I'm not sure.
All right, going down inside the cockpit. Here we go.
And wow, I was just in the car there, and a lot of damage to the front end as well. It could be a night ender on that 10 machine.
Yeah, he just came off that wall a little bit too tough and found that inside wall right at the apex of the turn, or the ending of pit road, to where it bulges out, Bob, and it really took that car for a ride.
Yeah, it was weird. Down at the end of the straightaway, I watched him on board, and he just turns to the right just a little bit and gets that wall. It was kind of weird. But tough break for Jason Covington down on pit road. A lot of damage on the front of that 10 machine. The Covington Motorsports driver might be done for the night on this one.
Yep, won last week at Kansas, running a conventional 4th after the pit cycle probably ran out. At least that's where he went into the pit cycle, was running 4th. So he had a potential for a top 3 spot yet this evening. And Wes Holland, though, as we're still green flag out here, he's out to the lead and out to it fast.
Yeah, Wes Holland, 1 second lead over Dustin Lee. We haven't had a bunch of crashes and cautions and all kinds of stuff like that, Jeff, but we've just seen a couple of huge developments that definitely are going to have an impact on the outcome of this race, with the 10 machine having his trouble, and of course Kevin Winter with that fuel outage, showing him now 16th. 3 laps down was the loss that he incurred in that exchange, which is too bad because we've seen him making a bid to get back up to the front of the pack after that early pit road penalty put him at the back on that first caution.
Yet Kevin Winter also involved in the points. So was Ray Richer, who we've seen already packed it up, and you were right, that was a night-ending incident for the 10 machine of Jason Covington as he has packed it up and will be heading home this evening.
And now we'll look at that fuel mileage, though. We had that early caution on, I think it was lap 8. Most of the guys pitted. They ran, full fuel cycles, Jeff, if you will. I don't have my Jeff Wood Common Core Math Signature Series calculator out at the moment, but they were just shy of halfway. I don't think they can actually do this on one more stop. I think 2 more stops is going to be the call here, and I think these guys will probably try to stretch it out because they want to be caught down on pit road and lose a lap if a caution does come out.
Yep. Wes Holland getting a battle from the 3 machine, who is trying to stay on the lead lap at the moment. All power to the 3 machine to keep Wes behind him safely enough at least, and not ruin the 4. The 8, though, James Lehman making a charge. We'll possibly see a battle if the 3 machine doesn't yield a full course length to the 4, but I think really the pit stops, Bob, are at a 35 lap length. We're not seeing quite the great fuel quality that the Xfinity car had last night.
Absolutely, and Mark Jackson gives Wes the bottom down in turn 3, lets him ease on by. Mark Jackson, that Kansas driver, currently shown 10th. That leaves us with 9 cars left on the lead lap, and Bullet is definitely coming. He's coming like a bullet.
Yep, given his nickname there. Yep. The 3 machine, though, had a great run last night in the Xfinity Series. Finishing second, I got that interview. The guy has had a tough year throughout the 3 series. Last night was his best finish, I think, since one of the races at Daytona or Atlanta. So good for Mark Jackson to get that monkey off his back and get a great finish in the podium. But the podium really looking strong for the 3 guys that started out front. They haven't really screwed up that running order too much.
Now, looking at that running order, we have Wes Holland, James Bullet Lehman, Dustin Lee, your top 3 currently. And they could hear it in talking with Mark Jackson there last night in the Victory Lane show. He was very, very happy. You could hear it in his voice. Always seems pretty happy, unless something bad happens to him on track. I've heard him get pretty wound up as well, Jeff, as I'm sure you have.
Oh yeah, any driver is obviously ticked off at the next driver who hit him, or if he has a bad race, ticked off at himself. But as race car drivers tend to do, they calm down after getting on pit road and having a cold one to end their evening.
Absolutely. Actually, it was just a few races ago. He gave some feedback on a situation that happened and referred to it as something that a bull leaves after a healthy meal on a field.
Yeah, there we go. But continuing that rundown, look who's in 4th place, Bob. Ronald Klein in that 76 machine making gains. Gains at 14 seconds from the leader, but up 4th.
Yeah, Ronald Klein doing a good job, that Alabama driver in that 76 machine, working his way out of turn 4. He does have quite a ways back. He's like 11 seconds back from Wreckham Wes Holland. Actually, a bit more than that as it updates, of course. Behind him, we have Crazy Mike John Panzuller in that 01 machine. Not too far back from Ronnie, but doing a good job out here tonight is Crazy Mike in that good-looking machine. And looks like we had one more car actually fall lap down. Rocket Man now in 8th, 1 lap down. Panic Manis, Robert Manis in that 6th spot. Kyle Chadwick, 7th. And as I just alluded to, Rocket Man Randy Roberts in 8th. 7 cars left on the lead lap. Field working lap 90.
Yep, let's look at that 14 machine who's been inside the top 5. He started there at least, and he wants to gain at least one more position. The 14 not running for points, Robert Mattis. He's looking for a solid evening. Got that Chase Elliott scheme down on the hood Caesar, Little Caesars, or whatever that pizza joint is.
Yeah,
Cheap pizza joint.
Never been to one. Have you, Jeff?
Yeah, when I'm running really, really late.
Yeah, we don't have one up here in our market up in New Hampshire, but yeah, it sounds like they have some cheap deals on pizza. I'm pretty sure with Chase Elliott's win tonight, they'll probably have some specials. Just ahead of Mattis, looks like they have a bit of a battle developing there with Ronald Klein.
Yeah, Ron Klein getting the mirror full of the 01 U.S. Army machine of Crazy Mike, John Pansula. Throwback there to Mark Martin and all those other drivers that drove that scheme. It's going to come to fruition. Klein's going to have to give because it looks like Pansula has a long-range car here as he goes down low in the dog leg. 01 looking to make the pass through turn 3.
Yeah, Crazy Mike down to the inside. Looks like Ron is just going to hand him that spot. Even drift dropped it with a nice bow on it. And there you go, Crazy Mike. Have the spot. We're not going to race at this point in the race, I guess, was Ronnie's thinking there. But move Crazy Mike up one spot. Now into 4th. Great run.
Yep. That 01 machine coming into tonight, John Pansula scored 8th in points. So on the back end of the race, he's completed or ran in all 15 races this season. So he has the best potential to move up. Dustin Lee still ahead of him. Kevin Winter is behind him, so that's great. Toker not having a great race. Gilmore still back in the pack too. So what I'm saying is 01 machine moving up in points.
Absolutely. This is going to be a good points night if he can stay where he is or even advance his track position some more. Kind of scrolling.
Don't we all, Mike?
And getting some feedback from our virtual production truck. Sounds like he'd actually like to see a caution and get this field reset.
It might make for an interesting event. We saw that last night, a later caution with about 20 to go in the Xfinity Series added to a different style. Maybe it wasn't at that 20 mark, but guys being able to hold on to the track on tires versus not being able to. Wes back out front, though, not really putting a huge gap on James Lehman, but a gap nonetheless.
Yeah, showing a 1.1, almost 1.2 second lead for Reckham West Holland and that 4 machine over James Lehman. A little bit further back, though, we do have a little bit of action. We have Crazy Mike, Ronald Klein, and Mattis. It looks like we have one lap car here in the mix. That's where my camera went when I put it on most exciting. Still not much going on now. Pretty much single file here.
Yeah, a lot of single file action going through. We'll try to give, every time we try to do a rundown that we've already done, though, we get involved into a pit situation. Pit situation coming up in the next 15 laps, in my opinion. Wes really leading that off. Well, at least leading it off is Dustin Lee, who's managed to hang on to 3rd. Let's look at the 3rd place car, Dustin Lee. He's lower on tires based on that first caution and only caution here this evening. Really, I think Jay Smoke would have liked the caution, and so would have the 10 car of Jason Covington. Both Jays out there.
Yeah, Dustin Lee currently 3rd, 4.4 seconds last time by off the lead. Doing a pretty good job. We saw him in that really good battle with James Bullet Lehman earlier. Right now, looks like he's just kind of riding there behind a couple of lap down machines in 3rd.
Yep, and again out there on YouTube, welcome Michelle getting a late start here. Yep, one caution this evening so far. Knock on wood here. We're having a great race.
Do have one car down on pit road. Didn't catch the number. Chopper went too fast over it. I think it was Jay Queen.
Jay Queen, 2 laps down. He wants to see the field tighten up, but he's down on pit road, learning his racecraft within loose lug nuts. He's probably a great racer, but always when you come to a different league or new league or whatever, you got to learn how to drive around drivers and their type of racing. Jay Queen, I believe this is about his 2nd race, really showing a good job. Missing Jared Daniels from last week. Hope to see him back.
And this could be, I believe this is a scheduled stop. He might actually be short pitting with that window we alluded to 2 stops left in this race. I don't believe they can do it on one. Might be trying to get some tire speed out of the machine and try to get an advantage. Last time by, Wes's lap time was a 26, almost a 26 flat compared to that qualifying time of a 24.5 second lap. So definitely some fall off on these tires, Jeff.
Yeah, we got definite tire fall off. Maybe Wes is holding back a little because he's gave up about a tenth of James Lehman overall since the last 5 to 10 laps. Wes really a long-term driver. I'm not used to seeing him fall back. Maybe James Lehman, all credit to him. Wes coming down pit road. James Lehman maybe doing the same. I don't know.
Yeah, looks like James Lehman is. I heard something squealing here. What's going on? No. Might have been just Wes's guy. I thought I heard that lockup of tires. Something going on, but Wes Holland now. Yeah, that was Wes. Production truck did confirm it. 76 machine will be pitting this time as well. The open sign is turned on down there on pit road, Jeff.
Yep, we still have one more pit stop after this as long as we stay green. I hate saying colored flags out there because it's a big jinx on the drivers. Last time Wes Holland was down, he saw the 10 machine smack the wall right next to him, almost bring out a caution. We see Mr. Covington out there on YouTube. Yeah, happy it didn't bring out a caution, buddy, but maybe you kind of needed it if it didn't tear up the car so much.
Yeah, there was a close call last time by as the 2 machine made his way down the pit road. Kevin Winter almost got in the back of him. I don't think he knew he was pitting out there. Tense moment, though, for those 2 guys.
Yeah, sometimes you say you're pitting. Sometimes you don't want to say you're pitting. Wes doesn't get that choice if he's the leader coming down. But, if you're within a couple car lengths, normally it's respectively said out there that you just come over the mic on the race receiver and tell people that you're going down pit road this time.
And Kyle Chadwick made his way to pit road that time. James Lehman still on track, breaking lap 109. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve, if he's going to try to stretch this out and make it the distance. I personally don't believe that can be done, but and there it is. Now he is pitting because we were talking about it, of course.
Yep, just talking about him makes him pit. Bob with the magical voice. 8 car down pit road. If he wants to make up any time on Wes, maybe a 2-car or 2-tire strategy at this point is in the works. A lot of these guys, if they want to make up any time on Wes, but I don't know if it's advisable, as Wes, I don't think other than during that caution, took 2 tires.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how this shakes out. Looks like Wes Holland will cycle out to be our leader. Waiting a few more laps as we have a couple more cars left to pit here. I could be wrong. Maybe James Lehman is leading. Oh, we'll see.
Yep. Out there on YouTube, Miss Jackson, Christine Jackson, I don't think Mark is currently 9th coming into this race, so that would mean he was out of the top 8 drivers. Now, if we're talking about any other race, trucks or Xfinity cars, I'm not quite sure at this moment. That news can come later. But back out on the track, guys battling through the pit stops. Wes really smooth. James Lehman smooth, as is Dustin Lee. We'll see where Gilmore cycles out in all of this too.
Yes, Wes Holland now working his way down the main straightaway, beginning lap 112. Yeah, I'm showing Gilmore, who has not pitted, obviously, in second. Currently, James Lehman 4.7 seconds back from Wes. Wes definitely did a nice job down there on pit road. Put about 3.5 seconds on that 8 machine through the cycle.
Yep, back in the day, that's where you had to, if you couldn't beat Wes on the track, you had to beat him on pit road. Wes really improving his status on pit road runs here. Well, number 3 box ain't too bad for him with that qualifying spot. He's got some lead or lap down cars to pass here. Toker, a teammate, coming up next, as is a couple of the other drivers.
Yeah, West will have to negotiate some of these guys that are a lap down, and currently 6 cars shown on the lead lap. Jeff Gilmore, however, will actually lose a lap when he does make his scheduled service, so that will leave us with just 5 cars on the lead lap.
Well, look at it here, Bob. If I'm correct in saying 35 laps to a fuel load, can Gilmore make it? I would say no with the basic math scenario here, but is a saving opportunity.
And just as you said that, Jeff Gilmore does make his way down the pit road. And he's going to have to save.
Gilmore just off of it. Make sure you're not in replay mode there, Bob.
Well, you're right. Wow, he's just dropping. I just saw him drop through the running order on my screen. Actually, I didn't have him on the screen, but pretty much assumed that he had made his way to pit road. Of course, when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me, as they say. Still on track, though. Yeah, you might be right. He might actually try to stretch this out. Best he can make up, though, Jeff, in my belief, is with one last stop in these slower laps, he might be able to make up 1 lap. Currently 1 lap down. He gets into the wall sideways, down onto the inside of the dog leg. He's going to incur that time penalty. Things went disastrously wrong for Jeff Happy Gilmore. I'll have to call him Jeff Unhappy Gilmore after that occurrence. I'm sure he's going to make that left-hand turn. No, he still stays out. Did we miss his pit stop? I wonder if he pitted and we just didn't catch it.
He just pitted. This is just off of pit road. He took 4. It was very late in the cycle, or he doubled and short pitted. Not a huge loss, maybe on speed for him, as West and Toker got around him. But Jeff Gilmore, 4th in points here. He's the bubble car, so to say, going into next week at Darlington, round 2 or race 2 of round 2 here at Loose Lug Nuts Racing. He has to really see what he's doing differently. I hope he knows he's 4th and wants the best possible finish. He doesn't have to do a lot of maneuvering on track.
Absolutely. Currently shown 10th. First car 2 laps down. We have another vehicle making its way off the bacon. That's the 15 machine of David Johnson making his way down pit road. Still watching Gilmore work his way around the track. However, Jeff, back up front, that 4 machine, that lead has definitely decreased 2.9 seconds last time at the stripe.
Yep, Wes is going to have to screw up race for himself or get tangled up in lap traffic. Even when we've been close in the racing status, the 4 machines found his way to the front. So something's going to need to change the equation here for the rest of the evening for the 4 to find himself in a different scenario. But James Lehman, like you said, almost 3 seconds back in second, and Dustin Lee into 3rd. Ronald Klein is 4th, but under fire from John Pansula once again.
Yeah, and we saw these guys swap spots as the run went on last time. Crazy Mike starting to reel in. Ronald Klein, that 76 machine, as they work their way down into turn 3. Up the banking goes John Panzula, just slightly climbs that corner off, catches the bottom out of 4. Nice drive out of 4, trying to catch that 76 machine.
Yep, 76 looks like he still has some tires under that car. Ronald Klein working the 4 spot where he's found himself most of the evening after Jason Covington's inside wall exit of the track. 01 running the different line, trying to confuse the 76. It looks like 76 not diving into the corner, running more smooth off. 01 losing a little bit of time on the front stretch.
And taking a peek down to the inside on Ronald Klein is Crazy Mike, really starting to reel him up now. That interval, about a half a car length. And speaking of intervals, another 10th gone off that lead. Bullet is coming towards the front, but still got a long ways to go, Jeff, to catch Rockham West Holland in that 4 machine.
Yep, 8 machine, as we continue to view this battle between the 01 and 76. The 8 machine was about 2 laps longer on the pit cycle than the 4 of West Holland. We still got one more potential pit stop. 76 off the wall.
Bumps the wall. Crazy Mike not able to capitalize. Tosses the cones up through the air through the dog leg. Regathers his thoughts and gets back up on the wheel and tries to get another charge after that position. And these guys, a little desperation starting to occur as Wes Holland is in their mirror. And I just saw Happy Gilmore. It looks like past Wes over in 3 and 4, Jeff. I'm not sure what's going on there. Must be newer tires or something.
Yeah, tire difference there. Gilmore getting a single lap back, but he has more to go on that long haul towards the lead lap. Only 5 cars on the lead lap, and that's John Pansula. Ronald Klein in 5th spot would be the final car. Pansula getting by him.
Yeah, Crazy Mike getting around Ronnie there that last time by as the field is 30 to go, and we're going to see one more pit stop, and it'll be interesting to see what the strategies play out, because this isn't going to be quite a full fuel run, Jeff. Could be a little bit of gamemanship and strategy calls going on with that.
Yep, the 8 car, I believe, is on pit road. Let's look at the 8 machine. Maybe he's going to do something different. No, he's off of pit road. What happened?
Well, we'll have to take a peek at what just happened with James Lehman. I'll wind it back on my screen while you keep an eye on those boys up front.
Yep, Wes now heading down pit road. Let's view him. He's signaling pit road. We'll see what he does. Panic passes him. Chadwick passes him. All lap down cars. Dustin Lee stays out. I want to see the 4 or the 2. We know they need a little bit more gas to get to the end, but do you take 2 in this situation?
And then I'm watching James Lehman's pit stop. That was a 4th tire stop.
All right, so Wes has to match it. He slides in, scuffs the tires a bit getting in. Right side's up for Wes Holland and that 4, our potential leader. Dustin Lee now leading, though. We'll see where the situation comes out. Left side's up. It's a 4 tire stop for Wes Holland. He's down and away. We'll view the rest of the guys coming down. Dustin Lee may want to make up some time.
You know what that means? He's going to pit this time because you just said that.
Nope, he keeps on going. Dustin Lee, John Pansula out in front. 5 cars still on the lead lap. Potentially, we know everyone needs to pit, maybe outside of Jeff Gilmore.
Yeah, out front currently, though, is Dustin Lee in that over-the-top paints and designs car. It's an interesting paint job that he has. Kind of cool look to it, even though there's not a whole lot of color going on.
Yeah. Still waiting to see who goes down pit road. We'll cycle through. Ronald Klein's down on pit road, lap down, but in 4th spot is Ronald Klein. He'll cede a few spots on pit road on this end of the cycle. He's out in the way. It looks good. Not seeing a lot of wiggle or frustration. Looks like he got clean and away.
Hey, looking at his stop, that was 4 tires in that 76 machine for Ronald Klein as well.
Dustin Lee still leading it. Got Wes Holland a lap down. Maybe just hoping for someone to mess up throughout the field and ruin Wes's night. 78 machine below the 2, getting a lap back the hard way is Kevin Winter.
Yeah, Kevin Winter, who has pitted with those newer and fresher tires, easily able to get around that 2 machine. This time by 2 does bypass that pit entrance and will continue on for one more lap.
Just want to point out the 8 is still in front of the 4. They both have to pass the 2. The 2 has all rights to block here, but look at that 8 give him a little bit of a bump. The 2's wanting to hold on to track position and time. However, Dustin Lee's been out there a really long time compared to these guys with newer tires. He has to see the moment eventually to the 8 and the 4 who have fresher tires.
Yeah, and I don't believe Crazy Mike is pitted either, currently shown in 2nd on the running order. And these guys are hoping and praying for a caution, Jeff. Otherwise, they're going to lose a lot of track position. Running roughly a 1.5 seconds slower than what they qualified at on these old tires. And this time by, the 2 machine does peel off the speedway and heads down to pit road for the attention. Much needed on that car.
Yep, a little bit late in my opinion. He should have done it as soon as he saw the 8 and the 4 come off the corner behind him. But, different strategies. John Pansula, he's down pit road now. Kyle Chadwick, who worked up to the lead lap, is still out. Maybe he's on a different fuel strategy. But James Lehman and Wes Holland on the back end of the lead lap.
Yeah, they're back on the lead lap and coming after that 161. Chadwick trying to get his lap back. He's hoping and praying for the yellow rag to be flown. If it doesn't come out, again, he's going to give up a lot of track position on this exchange without a caution. That's a gamble call that he's definitely making. When this does cycle out, I'm showing that James Lehman will be the leader as he does work his way to the inside of the 161 machine. Field now working 137. Not much sand left in the top half of this hourglass deal, and laps winding down, Jeff. I wonder if Wes Holland can get back up there and get that lead again.
Well, Bob, I'm going to talk about Wes Holland for a little bit. We'll talk about that for. I want you to dive down there on that machine and see if there's any damage, because he is significantly slower or different to where he was running before that cycle ended. The 14 looks like he is with them. Did the 8 do something different?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Bad Apple Racing number 4 Freaky Fast car looks pretty good actually down there.
Maybe he's just letting Lehman think he's got it and going to power out to the front, because that 4 had a dominating run all night. The 8 machine with some damage. He was obviously fast, but with clean air now, maybe the 4 just had to work harder for his pit stop area.
It could be, and Wes starting to reel him back up a little bit. Plus, these guys, they're on the same race team. I don't think they're going to race each other too hard. Well, this is Wes Holland. I'm going to actually pull that remark back. He might actually get up there because he wants to win bad. And actually, both these guys want to win bad. So we might see this get pretty wild and exciting.
Yep, Panic right there behind his buddy, the 4 of Wes Holland. Wes reeling in the 8. James Lehman going to battle him out. Teammates are not. It's for first place. Here goes the 4.
Down to the inside. He's got a good line. Lehman up on the high side as they exit turn 2. Side by side through the dog leg, Jeff. We'll see how this plays out. We've seen that middle line over in turn 4 actually get a good roll, and James Lehman tucks down hard on the 4 machine, trying to get that high side to work from him. Not able to. The Under Armour machine now falls back to second place. And Wes Holland, new leader here, lap 143.
Yep, James Lehman should have worried about how he rolled the center of that middle groove through 4. Gave up a lot of time tucking West to the low side. West takes advantage of the momentum. Now they're 3 and 4 yet again. West out to a clear lead. He's going to probably stretch it here unless he meets opposition and lap cars. Gilmore next up on the chopping block. Gilmore still on the lead lap in 5th spot. And
Happy Gilmore in 5th. Looking back, though, competitor just wanted to touch on. Ronnie Klein, the 76 machine, is falling back to 7th place, Jeff. I think it was one of the competitors that stayed out a bit longer. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Chadwick giving up to Dustin Lee. Ronald Klein, like you said, stayed out just maybe a tenth too long. He's now looking to jump up to a top 5 spot. Gilmore a lap down. That's where they're all shooting for. Robert Mattis throwing a little bit of a wrench in there. He's next up for Gilmore. Robert Mattis makes that pass.
Yeah, Mattis working his way around Jeff Happy Gilmore for that 5th position. Now looking at only 3 cars left on the lead lap. Dustin Lee definitely gave up a lot of track time. Nearing 13 seconds back from Wes Holland, our current leader. Field, we're almost inside at 10 to go, Jeff. Not much time left. Long green run. We've been green since I believe it was lap 8.
It's been a green flag run. Maybe a shortened field here tonight helped it a little bit, but you still got to give a high five to those drivers being able to, even though they're crashing or hitting the wall or something, being able not to bring out that caution. Jason Covington, Jay Smoke out there. I know it probably ended their night off of turn 4 or really didn't see what happened in the 58, but those guys out there not bringing out the caution, letting this long green run go and letting the drivers really determine the outcome.
Yes, and that outcome is going to be wrapped up here. Field will begin lap 148. Wes Holland has now stretched that lead out to 1.2 seconds. Dustin Lee with those that later pit stop on those newer tires has kind of reeled these guys in, but he'll never get there with the laps that we have left, unless we do see a caution. And we're almost at that point where if a caution does come out, it's going to be a race ender anyway.
Yep. Let's look at the 01 machine, who just passed the 57, Jeff Gilmore for position. Now looking at Ronald Klein for the next spot. 01 at John Pansula, really fast to those corners, going to give purpose to the 76, who sits in the top 5 spot.
And Jeff Gilmore just peeled off the speedway and hit pit road, Jeff. Wonder if he didn't get that fuel number or calculate things right there. Weird time here in the closing stages to pit. Looking at that battle, though, Crazy Mike and Ronald Klein right there. Up the track he goes. Almost gets into the wall over there in turns number 3 and 4 in that 76 machine.
Yep, but does the 01 have enough to get to Robert Mattis, who is the 4th runner? 1 lap down, though, 4th position. Looks like John Pansula has fresher tires. Robert Mattis even running down the 8 machine, who is 2nd place. Dustin Lee mixed out in the battle. He's 3rd still, but within a mixture of lap down cars.
Yeah, this could be a potential battle between Mattis and Crazy Mike in the closing stages. Visually, it looks like he is pulling up on him rather well. And those two vehicles working their way down in the turn 3. Panic in that 14 machine. Right through the middle of the corners where I'm really seeing that 01 machine start to reel them in quite a bit.
Yep, and we getting in this closing laps. Quick final shout out there, Loose Lug Nuts Racing. If you want to check them out, Summer Series coming up in June. Look to on Facebook, Loose Lug Nuts Racing. Over the top paints and designs. Any of the Loose Lug Nuts affiliates out there, check out
Crazy Mike is there. Takes a move down to the inside. Sorry to break in there, but we have that side-by-side battle. Panic rubs the wall out of turn 4. That 01 machine will now motor down in the turn 1 on the inside and clear Panic. Late race pass. We'll see if Panic can get up on that wheel and get back around that 01 machine as they work through the dog leg. Cones showering through the air. It's raining cones over there. It's crazy.
Yep. John Pansula probably in the best position possible of finishing the race in points. It's going to be a real close margin, but Ronald Klein not too far behind him, as is, Gilmore fell through the field having to pit late. John Pansula could really actually put some time if he had more laps for the rest of the race, could look at a potential lead lap finish.
Yeah, and speaking of more laps, Wes Holland will now begin the last lap at a turn 4.
Yep, white flag in the air. Wes Holland comfortably in the lead. 1.5 seconds almost on the field of 2nd place at least. He's through the dogleg into turn 3 and 4. A successful evening, leading the most laps, the 4 machine.
Yeah, definitely. Car's still nice and clean as well. Good performance for that 4 machine. I see James Lehman and Crazy Mike looking their battle side by side for nothing at all, but James Lehman does bring that 8 machine at Under Armour Chevy Camaro home in 2nd. 3rd place, Dustin Lee, and that's your top 3 as the fireworks go off of turns 3 and 4. Great show with those fireworks. Good looking stuff over there.
Yep. Bob's going to give us a quick rundown of our field here this evening. We'll drag these drivers up and get them ready for an interview.
Yeah, we already got the top 3. Crazy Mike, John Panzula, we saw in that late race battle. Comes home 4th. Panic, Robert Manis, your 5th place finisher. Ronnie Klein, the Alabama driver, finishes in 6th. Kyle Chadwick, 7th. Magic Shoes, Mark Jackson, that Kansas driver, brings it home in 8th. Rocket Man, Randy Roberts, 9th. Jay Queen, pretty good run. First car 2 laps down, however, finishes 10th. Jeff, unhappy Gilmore, I'm going to say, by that finish in 11th, 2 laps down. Kevin Winter, we saw his trouble running out of fuel, really cost him big time. Finishes 12th, 3 laps down. Josh Scott in 13th. That was basically the extent of the cars actually left on track. David Johnson, 40 laps down in 14th. Judd Danielson, who retired early, finishes 15th. And Jason Covington, we saw his troubles, 79 laps down, 16th here tonight. Ray Richer, we saw his early retirement, 17th. And Jason Hughes, with a very disappointing night for that Kansas driver, finishes last in 18th.
All right, we'll go ahead and bring up our third place finisher here this evening. That will be Dustin Lee. Dustin Lee, you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, gridded first on the field, had the fast lap in qualifying, hung on to third from a long green flag race. Maybe not the race you wanted to see overall, but tell us how you went throughout the night here.
Just pretty much just, yeah, I don't think I was the best car here. Obviously, Wesley and James, they had me by far here. But I think on a short run I could keep up with them, but just on the long run I just didn't have anything for them at all.
All right, not to throw a little bit of a wrench in here, but you, sir, are like sitting seventh. There's a lot of drivers there sitting in points wondering what they're going to happen. We'll probably see that after we go off air tonight, but nonetheless, a solid run going in to Darlington. How do you feel about that track?
I hate that place, so yeah, not looking forward to that one.
All right, well, I mean, third here tonight, and maybe, hopefully, a top 10 into Darlington. The track too tough to tame. Give us some shout-outs here for your third place finish.
Yeah, thanks to XL, of course. For all they do, and congratulations to Wesley and James, and also Overtop Paints. They make some awesome paints.
All right, Dustin, thank you for those words, and we'll see you next week, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Bob up with the second place of the 8, James Lehman.
And tonight's second place finisher in that number 8 machine, the Armor Chevy Camaro, James Lehman. Tell us about your race and what the hell happened to the right side of your car? You got some scratches here, buddy.
Well, it's not a Chevy Camaro. It's a Toyota.
Oh, it's not? Oh, well, that's probably why you got those scratches. Just kidding, buddy. Tell us about your race, though, and did you have anything for Wes? Were you, like, needing a caution or something to reel him in?
Well, the race went pretty good. First field run, I learned I was making a very big mistake with my tires, and that's why those guys really pulled away. Turning way too much for this track, and then it just kept going green and green and green, and I'm just like, dude, please be a caution sometime. I was like, I need it to bunch us all back up, and it'd be easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
And you're not really in the chase deal or the point deal. Hope to see you next week at Darlington. Give us some thoughts on Darlington from your perspective.
Well, Darlington is my home track. That was the first track I bought when I bought iRacing. That was the first track I got, and I got it with the trucks, and I just went there and had a lot of fun. But Darlington can either be really nice to you, or just a fat bitch sitting on your chest. It's one or the other. So.
All right, thanks for that graphic description. And any high fives, shout outs, and fist bumps you want to give before we let you go, Mr. Lehman?
Thank everybody at Loose Lug Nuts Racing, put on a great show. I wish more people would come out, despite it being a chase and whatnot, because it actually makes it harder for the chase drivers to race. Wes was saying, he's like, man, I don't know what the hell it is these lap cars, but it's making me work harder, and everybody at Bad Apple, love racing with those guys. And looking forward to next week and next season.
Well, all right, that's James Lehman bringing it home second, and we'll get the man, the myth, the legend, Wreckham Wes Holland up here for the post-race show.
Yep, and the man that's running out of notches on his belt has to buy more belts, I think. Wes Holland winning here this evening. Tell us about your spectacular race, sir.
It was fun out there, honestly. I mean, we got a lot of good green flag runs there, so I was happy with it. Car felt good. Issues being in traffic behind those lap cars. You can't turn up off the corner with any kind of car in front of you. So it doesn't matter if it's who you're chasing or who you're trying to lap. So other than that, it was a good race out there. It was fun.
Sounds like we got a party beginning, a little celebration there with the music in the background, Wes.
Yeah, that's the wife back here listening to some tunes. So.
All right, now you won here tonight. You're partying it out with the wife. it seems like a good evening here for you, especially in points with Mitch missing here tonight. It's going to add a lot of flavor to those points going into Darlington. I know you're comfortable with Darlington, but we just heard from James, you don't want to be on the bad side of her.
No, you don't want to be on the bad side of the Lady in Black. So it ought to be a good race. I'm glad that I picked up a win here tonight. Unfortunate for Mitch out there not making it tonight, so that helps me a little bit more in the points, making it to the Final Four. But we're going to go out there and we're going to see if we can tame it.
All right, looking to tame it, you will next week at Darlington here on Sunday night. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
I just all my teammates over there at Bad Apple, and shout out to James racing me nice and clean tonight. Figured we were going to battle it there at the end when he got out in front of me, and he raced me the way I'd race him. So, and shout out to Dustin Lee. I wish I would have been able to see what he had there at the end, or we got on the same tire strategy because he was quick there to begin with. And of course, you guys up in the broadcast booth, awesome broadcasts every week to watch. And John, over the top paints, awesome paint scheme, love it.
All right, Wes, we'll see you next weekend, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Bob, we're through Phoenix ISM Speedway. We had a short field here tonight, but fun racing and long green flag runs. I don't think that's going to be the case next week. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really surprised, Jeff. That was 140 some odd lap green flag run we saw. But it was, essentially a race without a caution. That one caution that we saw was very early in the event. Good show, though, and a lot of fun up here in the booth next week. I think it's going to be wild. Darlington is it's a give and take track. It's a driver's track. You got to attack it, but be patient at the same time. We'll see how the points shake out, and next week we'll get the fun of seeing who will be the Final Four at Homestead.
Yep, Final Four at Homestead in 2 weeks. Next week, though, the track Too Tough to Tame at Darlington. This has been a MaxSpeedTV production for Loose Lug Nuts Racing, the Top Shelf Cup Series Auto and Detailing sponsor. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight for the replay. Overall, in the chat, good talks out there. We'll see everyone next week, and stay safe, everyone.
In the open road, life and death in my own hands.